There is no Grazer foil, yep. Alright, so this is pretty close to a mono green deck. We've got 8 blue sources here in the main deck for some counter spells. No, I spend actual dollars on the gems, Hat Crab. So the best part about this job is that MTGA foils are tax deductible, so it's really a treat. So we have a small blue splash for Negate in the sideboard for disruption, and then some Tamiyo Collector of Tales here for a little bit of threat density. At the core in the main deck, we are an Explore package deck to give us game against aggro with Growth Chamber Guardian to provide a little bit of beatdown. And then we've got a full set of Nissa who shakes the world at the top end, along with a couple of Finale of Devastation to give us 3 virtual copies of Endrace Force Runners as a finisher. And Finale is a finisher just on its own too, because Nissa who shakes the world can create very large amounts of mana for us. Yeah, I'm not sure. Someone mentioned Apex. I feel like that could probably be a reasonable card. Do I wanna trim an Evolution Sage maybe to make room for it? I don't know. This feels like one of the key cards in the deck, so I'm not really sure. It could be like one of these could be the trim. Even as just a fun of, because we can find him with Finale on occasion. Now I think Nissa's probably really big game a lot of the time. I'm gonna trim one of these random Paradise Druids. Alright, let's try this. Just wanted to say thank you for creating so much Magic content, making it available on YouTube. Well, thanks for being here. Nissa seems really good. This deck's supposed to be playing Hydroid Graces. I don't know. That's one of the questions I want to ask myself. Is basically going to come down to what does the top end of this deck look like, and does it feel like Krasis is going to be potentially solving problems that we have? So one of the things I'm going to want to be thinking about is how often do I have Nissa with a bunch of mana and that I'm not already winning the game? That's the key question I want to ask myself. So people saying we want Krasis, well, when Krasis is good with Nissa, are we already winning because Nissa's good? That's the key thing I want to ask myself. Think I want to just lead on Wildgrowth Walker. These plebeian non-foils in the ugly corner here. Foul Orchard, Swamp, could be budget mana, could be green-black with extra duels. Yeah, the Grazer versus Elf discussion is interesting. One of the things about this specific deck that might be true is it depends on, in my mind, how good or bad our aggressive matchup is. So in my head, if the aggressive matchup is bad, Grazer tends to be better. Grazer does synergize with this to a degree too, because if you play it post-Sage, you can get multiple land drop triggers in a turn. Field of Ruin also kind of sweet for purposes of getting multiple landfall triggers off of this. I'm not gonna attack with this yet, because it's gonna grow big enough to attack into things like this. Could you tick up their saga? Ticking the saga up causes it to trigger, right? From my understanding. Or does it only trigger when it ticks up naturally? I don't actually know the rules on that one. I'm not sure that we really need something like Swordtooth. So I'm gonna put on full control mode here. Because what I want to happen here is I want this in play, and then I'm gonna play Karn's Bastion, and then in response to these triggers, I'm gonna use the mana from the land I played to adapt this so it gets 1/1 counters. So now I get to proliferate my Growth Chamber Guardian on up here. Turn this off. Find some crabby friends. I think I'm just gonna hang tight for a turn, because like I'm gonna get to like activate Field of Runes and stuff next turn to like make these dorks even bigger. I mean, like, honestly, I could see End Rays being unnecessary just because Finale can be lethal on its own. So I'm gonna tap like this. And then Nissa makes all my forests double. So now I can Field of Rune this. Which lets me trigger landfall. Submit. Submit. So, like, Nissa ultimates next turn. That's kind of hot. Her alt gets all the forests out of her deck, right? You get an emblem with lands you control, have indestructible, and search your library for any number of forests and put them onto the battlefield tapped. Yep. Hey, XRtron, thank you for the 10-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Good solid example in our first game here of like what the deck is trying to do, which is nice. Always nice to get the, well, this was the goal out of the way. Trogar. Have my health total, yep. Am I dead? Alright, that's a Wildgrowth Walker. Yeah, that saves me, right? So it puts me to 7. Oh no, I took too long to make a decision. Whoa! I forgot that that was gonna happen. I forgot that was gonna happen. I'm really glad we made this card foil so I could have foil triggers. Give me an always no option, Arena. Please give me an always no option. I have to keep declining the Growth Chamber Guardian triggers. I have Resolve All checked. Yeah, MTGO's always no option looking real good right now. My APM. There's animation lag, okay? I can't... All my creatures are lethal, right? So it doesn't matter that I can gain life because all my creatures are lethal. Hey, all the triggers are foil, okay? They're beautiful. I can play the Branchwalker too, you're not wrong. I vote we cut Growth Chamber Guardian. For attack. Simic Ascendancy intensifies. This is a constructed event. No, they're dead, right? Because this is attacking too. How do you feel about splashing white for Shalai, Ajani, and Loxodon for proliferate triggers? I don't know, Sunshine. That feels like just like a functionally different deck. Like the Loxodon, you need a lot of things to make Loxodon good in your deck, it feels like. Deck submissions are 10 for Standard, 25 for Modern, and 50 for Legacy. I think I want Kraul Harpooner so I don't die to their stupid demon. Can probably trim... Probably... This pig is probably unnecessary. I'm gonna trim a Paradise Druid too. Seems fine. I always like we're like trying to do a thing and we get to do the thing in the very first match. I mean, like, do we really need to give our creatures trample? Like, what does the average board state look like where we need to get through with trample, right? Zegana at least, like, draws a card to replace herself, so her floor is pretty high. Like, I could see Zegana being okay, just because, like, she enables trample and she draws a card when she comes into play. Pig gives trample, right? So I have Pig to do that. Zegana's probably just a less greedy version of Pig. The best kind to kill is overkill. Well, does the green Eternal give trample? I don't actually recall. What's the text box on that? It does not. I didn't think it gave trample, but I couldn't remember exactly. They could trade 3 saplings for my Wildgrowth Walker or 2 for the Branchwalker. think that's fine for me either way. Yeah, I think if I wanted a Trampler enable, it would definitely be Zegana. Because she's like, again, like, the way you want to make your synergy decks be good on average is you want to play cards like Zegana that are just, like, on average kind of constructed playable on their own. It's a pretty good draw. Is 19 lands in mono red greedy? Definitely not in best of 1. Maybe in best of 3. The art on this card is stellar, by the way. Look at that. Such a beautiful full art. Yes, proliferating a Blast Zone is kind of wonderful. +2/+2. Okay. Alright, so we're going to start with this. Yeah, the fact that, like, this... I agree. The fact that this gives us something to do with our extra mana is nice. Alright, so... I think I want to turn this into a 5/5. So I'm going to fart this before I play this land. Go find a friend. Oh, he does get another friend, doesn't he? My crab people need me. Oh, the crab people need me. So they could trade this for my Growth Chamber Guardian, which I think I'd rather not happen. Hey, Robinson, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm aware. I want the Blast Zone to go to 4, I think. How are we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for dropping in here today. If you're a new viewer, my name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, sometimes even 50 hours a week. If you are someone who enjoys constructed Magic, this is definitely the channel for you. We play a huge variety of decks, changing every 60 minutes to 2 hours, so I get to see a lot of different things here. As always, I'd love to give a shout-out to my wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here day and day without their support. They are quite literally the folks that keep me employed. I'd also like to take a hot second to plug a couple of my wonderful sponsors here really quick as well. The Vitamin String Quartet creates unique instrumental arrangements of everything from Zelda to Zeppelin, and they would love to be the underscore for your next gaming session. You can find them streaming now on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, and lots of other fantastic streaming services. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of artwork that they already have on their website, such as my own Hoaglandia branded merchandise. Cardsphere.com will love to help you turn your cards into other cards direct with other players. There's no haggling, and they just take a 1% fee off the top. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. I know there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now, and I appreciate you spending part of your Friday here with us. But everyone out there is having a fantastic start to their weekend. Remember, if you are new, make sure you hit that follow button. Following the stream doesn't cost you anything, and it lets you know when I go live and with what. This is, I feel like we need a cheeky name for the 7-land hand. It's been a while since I've seen one. We call the inverse of this is the Hearthstone hand, right? So what do we call 7 lands that's kind of cheeky? The estate. I'm gonna be a little greedy and bin that. On the off chance this dies after I play it on 2, I really want to try and find another 3-drop. The Hoaglandia, of course. Hello. Avon lady. I like that. That's cheeky. Ooh, fishies. It's been a hot second, little fish. Alright, so fish or merfolk, whatever you want to call it, usually that's kind of an aggressive strategy. So I kind of need to decide how, like, do I want to try and play defense here, or do I want to pressure them out of the game? So, like, is it worth attacking for 4 here to potentially take 2 or more damage on the backswing from this Deep Root Elite, or do I want to, like, turtle up here a little bit? I feel like I probably want to play defense here. I feel like I'm pretty unlikely to run them out of the game, and, like, my deck probably gets bigger than their deck does as we get into the mid-game. Just like when all of our proliferate synergies get going. Yeah, so I'm not sure it's worth trading 4 points here to take 2 on the backswing. Submitted Esper Hero as my deck submission. Sounds good, Vin. Thanks for the support. Huh? Missing a land drop there feels bad. I think I do this, try and hit the land, and then play the other Growth Chamber Guardian. Ding, ding, ding. Ideally, I'd want Evolution Sage triggers, but beggars can't be choosers, so sign me up. Pretty easy block here. If they attack with both, I'll have this eat this. I'm gonna see old Tricky Dick come down here. Okay. Hey, diddle diddle. The Merfolk and the Fiddle. Hoping to draw a land here and stick the Vivian. Feeling a little bit backed into a corner here. Our synergy's not quite coming together. We've got Evolution Sage, but nothing with counters on it so far. Deep Root Waters plus Deep Root Elite. The Deep Roots work together well. I mean, do you think Hadana's Climb would win us this game under? I think we're probably dead to rights here. They got much bigger, much faster than we did. I think I just want some chunky boys. Doesn't seem unreasonable. Just like, here's my 6/6s. Wonder if Harpooner's fine. They have the 2-drop. That flies. What do you think of cutting a field or a bastion for a basic island so opponents can't field us off of blue? I think that's pretty marginal. I think I would rather have my colorless utility lands than like have an extra basic for when I have a splash. There aren't that many Field of Runes in the format. I also have utility lands myself, so I think if someone's Field of Runing my dual lands, that's probably pretty aggressive on their part. It's my favorite Planeswalker from War so far. Probably little Teferi. That card's great. Have a good one, Troll. Catch you around. I think that's an okay keep. Could potentially make these things competitors as we go along. End raise Forerunner here. looking really pretty awkward as a piece of top end. Like, thinking about, like, if this card was a Zegana here, we'd be a lot better off, most likely, right? As is, this card's probably going to sit in our hand while we get beat down. I suppose Nissa makes this card less awkward. Like if I hit the land for Nissa next turn, I have end raise mana the following turn, and then it looks pretty good. Which is something to consider, I guess. Also wouldn't mind just hitting another Merfolk Branchwalker next turn, so that way I can go Wildgrowth Walker into Merfolk Branchwalker. Honestly, there's just a ton of good designs in this new set as far as Planeswalkers are concerned. I feel like they really hit it out of the park between the static abilities and just the fact that they're like not automatically game winning with ultimates, all of them. This is a little awkward because I was hoping to draw a land for this, but I don't think I can like just play a Wildgrowth Walker this turn. I need something to kind of hold down the fort a little bit. And they like make this a 6/6 and attack with it, I'll probably trade off so that way I can play Nissa next turn if I draw a land. I'm not sure this card is beatable, huh? Probably just dead. Well, the new non-rotating format is going to likely have sets like Kaladesh and stuff like in it, sets that aren't in this current standard format. So it'll likely be fairly different right off the bat, because there'll be a deep card pool, deep-ish card pool. Yeah, their linear go-tall strategy definitely out-lineared our go-tall strategy. How does Nissa combo with Climb? Just because her lands flip it automatically? I'm not sure I really buy that Climb solves issues that we have off the bat in this deck. Maybe it's better than Finale. It serves a similar role to Finale and the Pig. I could also see... I feel like Incubation Incongruity is probably a card that this deck wouldn't mind playing. Adds a little bit of consistency to the creature package and gives you some removal in the main deck. What are my thoughts on WotC doing the Japanese Altar Planeswalkers? I think the Japanese Altar Planeswalkers in general are awesome. I think the fact that they're only offering them in Japanese is stupid. I think having alternative art cards that are legal for tournament play that are only available not in the language of players in countries that are going to be playing them is going to lead to awkward situations of players either making honest mistakes or actively trying to cheat by lying about the text of their card. I think they could avoid that both bad actors and people making honest mistakes by just like having them in English as well. I could just finale for a Jadelight here. That doesn't actually seem unreasonable, huh? Or I could just, like, make 4/4s? Let's just make 4/4s. I have a hard time looking at Kaladesh and talking about how broken it is while Wilderness Reclamation exists in this standard. I guess I could have traded the 2 Explore creatures there rather than my 4/4. Yeah, that's probably better. Trigger to land on your Jadelight Ranger. You could have doubled and untapped Hadana's with this +1 and do it again for lethal in the air. I mean, like... What is it your opinion or is it a fact? You're saying your opinion is that it's a fact that we had them dead? Like, your opinion is Climb is good. So, like, it's either a fact that they were dead or it's not. They were dead to this line isn't opinion based. It's fact based. It's either true or it wasn't. So this doesn't get the pig for a long time. I guess it gets Roalesk on this board. So do I wanna like, I could like double Explore creature, Ghost Creeper Guardian, or I could go get Roalesk. I think you missed a word there, Underplix. Your opinion is that we had lethal. Yeah, I think you missed a word in there. I probably just want to go get the 4/5 because the 4/5 has flying, chat. So like this blocks their phoenixes, which is nice. And like, if they kill him, I get to like make my squad huge. I don't know what Morrowind is, so probably not. This is a Flampler. It does flying and trample here. That attack is super aggressive. Are they going to kill my Apex Hybrid here? If they're not killing my Apex Hybrid, that attack is kind of wild to me. Deal. its attack with all of these. What if I just do this? I'm at 27. I think I just math this for blockers them here, right? Like if they want a triple block here, they're taking a bunch, right? Like yeah, they're down to 4, and like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 5 lethal threats this turn. I'm just at like so much health. And like Nissa's effectively making a haste threat next turn, right?
Together we will prevail. Be wary of the ground.
Alright, so if they have removal here, they're not dead. But if this isn't a removal spell, they're dead to this attack. They have to block all of these, and then they have to kill one of these. Oh, that's a good... No, if I blow up Blast Zone, I can't fart this, which means this is no longer lethal. Nullhide Ferox is pretty good in the this is a big dumb thing matchup. This seems reasonable. Playing with Nissa does make me wonder if she's the card that, like, we tried blue-green climb earlier this season and it felt kind of mediocre. I wonder if Big Nissa is the card that was, like, missing to make that really cohesive. Not to mention the fact that she's just, like, absurd with other things we're doing. She enables double climb turns. Oh, because she can untap the climb after making it a 3/3. That's funny. I guess that's technically true. Hey, Wanky, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Apparently our opponent gave up. And a $10 tip there. Thanks for that. For Just Guy Control, thank you, Dake Memes. Let's take a look at this deck list and make some edits and play a couple more matches here. I always forget to use my Prime sub on Twitch often, but you're most informational player here. Well, thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. Climb actually, and you know what's kind of funny too? Climb makes Arboreal Grazer better, right? Because climb on the O3 is kind of neat. Yeah, I resigned because I want to make some changes. We're gonna go play some more matches with this, but I wanted to make some edits, and you can't make edits in between without resigning. Something like this. Incubation Incongruity is also a card that's, like, potentially worth playing. Maybe that's better than the Incubation Druid. No, we definitely want more blue in the mana if we're gonna add Incubation in. 10 out of 10, I agree with that. Something like this. This is probably still enough for us for Nissa to be good. We trimmed an evolution stage, but I'm adding a bunch of incubations, which adds some consistency there. I guess there's only 25 creatures, so maybe 4 of these. Maybe 4 of these are too many. I'll leave the 4th sage in. That doesn't seem unreasonable. Maybe I put the last incubation in the board for the matchups where we really want removal. I don't hate that. I think I'd rather have Hadana's Climb than Zegana. Hadana's Climb is a card that has a similar role to Hadana. Like serves a similar purpose. For providing some evasion. Rough Ambassador, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. All right, let's give this a try. See how it feels. Play a couple more matches here. I trimmed the Karn Proliferate land from this build because I wanted to add a little bit more blue spells, so I needed some islands. Sure. Tamiyo is a card that generates card advantage for you. She's redundancy by picking up cards that have died. I think I'm gonna lead on this. It's actually a little bit awkward because, like, I kind of wanted to get one counter on the Jadelight Ranger so that way the evolution stage could pump up the jam. I had an incubation incongruity, Supion. I don't think 11 blue sources isn't enough to consistently cast a blue card. That was a good draw. Grazer being kind of sweet with Climb. Gives us something to do with this body that's allowed to attack for some reason. Agreed. Nissa. Yikes. He's got 2 thumbs and is dead to Gaia's Wrath. This guy right here. That's probably fine. I guess it's bad if they Wrath me, but I don't think we're beating Wrath this game anyways. Probably just pack it in. You got it. You got it. We shall not graze anymore. You know, I actually made a small mistake last turn. I shouldn't have played my 5th land out, because drawing a card like this means that my lands have value staying in my hand. Just something reasonable to think about. They've been to Isolated Chapel. That's good. Means maybe they don't have the sweeper yet. Sweet. Esper Control and conceding with 5 cards in hand. Name a more iconic duo. I'm gonna cut these Arboreal Grazers. Gonna cut these Wildgrowth Walkers. Gonna trim A-Climb. Seems fine. It's a touch awkward. Maybe with this board plan, Nullhide Ferox isn't quite worth bringing in. Just because isn't a card that quite belongs to our sideboard. Because it's a little bit awkward that I have so many non-creatures in my deck with this card to a degree. These are the grays of our lives. Do-do-do, do-do-do. So we had Karn's Bastion in the first iteration of this deck that we played. The number of colored sources we need to cast our spells consistently dictates that we'd have to play more lands in our deck in order to play a card like that. You don't know, it depends on if they have Thief in their deck against us or not. Thief isn't always a card that they bring in post-board. And like if I don't board in Nullhide Ferox in this matchup, it just shouldn't be in my sideboard. Sure, I'm not questioning should Nullhide Ferox come in this matchup. It definitely comes into this matchup. My question is, should Nullhide Ferox be in my board at all if I have this many non-creatures? Case in point. Where are my lands? Good golly. We dug real deep and we swung and we missed, chat. This could maybe be a land if we get to flip it over. God, we double bin twice there? Yikes. Don't tuck it in. Don't tuck it in. Don't tuck it in. Ugh. If we'd have, like, hit a land last turn, we could have hit a land this turn and then, like, killed this with Nissa. Instead, we just continue to do nothing and die. Hey, Rough Ambassador. Thanks for the 2-month resub. Welcome back.
Keep up the pace.
Thanks for keeping me around. Jadelight, unfortunately, guaranteed not to be a land. They do have to spend a removal spell on this Merfolk Branchwalker or lose their big giant Teferi, so we got that going for us. I would like all of the Nissas, please.
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought. Alright, so counterspell or spot removal means they're good on this Nissa. They get to untap with this Teferi again, I'm going to concede. Sometimes you play Magic, other times Magic plays you. You know, just how it goes. Couldn't figure out who Chet was, then I realized you're saying Chet. Have you considered Pollen Bright Druid? Is that the 2-drop that proliferate when it comes into play? If so, I think the individual power level on that card's a little bit too weak. I've been that. Yeah, I think Pollen Bright Druid is just like not a constructed playable card. Just like the power level of it is not quite there. Yep. So the number of blue sources you need to consistently cast a Frilled Mystic is in the range of 15 to 17, if I recall correctly from my charts. So we would need a significantly increased number of blue sources in this deck for that to be a possibility. That is an excellent pickup here. I'm just gonna go ahead and play Thrashy out, because if they hit the sweeper, this actually like is a great spot to be, right? Because if they hit the Kaya's Wrath, I get to kill this and then untap a Nissa, so we're still like in a good spot. And like anytime your creature deck can be like in an okay spot after they Kaya's Wrath you, it's like a good place to be. Oh, I guess if I would have untapped a forest here, I could have played Branchwalker too, because it would have made 2 mana. I was thinking I don't really care if this dies, because it doesn't make double mana, but I wasn't thinking about the fact that this would have gotten into play if I untap a forest there, so I'm probably supposed to untap a forest there. This card seems really sweet. She feels like kind of what I always wanted Vivian to be in these blue-green decks, in that it just like applies a lot of pressure very quickly. Shocking down to 6 in the face of Nissa. Deal. Teferi, are we tucking Nissa in? If they tuck Nissa in, it means the land is lethal. Really? We're not. Okay. Alright, I think they're dead here. So I get to go land, tap this, untap this, and then I'm going to cast a second Nissa here. This card is sweet. Haste in my green deck is great. How was the feather deck? We literally did not lose a match with it. Ended up being really impressive. Yeah, Nissa is really strong. Nissa seems really strong. I mean, we're still technically like green-blue proliferate. This hand is sweet. We get to go turn 1, Grazer, drop a land, turn 2, climb, attack with the Grazer. That's awesome. I would imagine control is a terrible matchup for Feather. I don't think we played against any control. Little Grazer that could. So I could play the Growth Chamber Guardian here, but I'd really rather not, I think. I'm also going to hold on to the Incubation Incongruity against double blue-black land start, because I think there's a chance that my opponent, has a Thief of Sanity deck or a Hostage Taker deck, and I'd like to say this to be a removal spell. Iris Gobby, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. That's actually true too. Do I even need to remove it? Or do I just like leave Grazer back? Yeah, maybe I just leave Grazer back. Oh, I should have done thing there. I should have played two. I should have played two Guardians. That was a mistake. Should have. That's a pretty big mistake, actually. There's no reason not to just do both there. Ended up not mattering because they have a Kefnet. Do I want to attack with this? I don't think I do, actually. Am I okay trading this for Kefnet? I probably am, huh? Yeah, I think I am. Hey, Necro Strider, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm a little bit sad if they ritual me, but other than that, in a pretty good spot. Yeah, Grazer was, like, notably better than Elf this game, right? Like, just thinking about, like, what this card did. He's very beastly. Blue-Red Drake's still a good deck. It's not a deck I've been impressed with recently. Yeah, counter spells and discard spells both take gods out of the game. You can mill your opponent after their card's discarded. Lots of interactive ways to take out the gods. So they are obligated to block this because otherwise Climb kills them. Yep. So if they hit Ritualist at here, I can Incongruity this in response, and then I'm still a little bit behind, but yikes, that's really good. Are they gonna target my Branchwalker? If they target my Branchwalker, I save it. Well, I mean, that seems good for me. Bump up, the bump up, the bump up, the jam. Yeah, I think if they would have targeted one of these, I would have incongruited my own thing to deny them the life gain. So I get to eat their Kefnet inside of combat here, because if they don't block with Kefnet, they're dead. Yeah, it does work. This thing only gains them life if it deals damage. They would be dead if I did that. No, because this says flying. They're at 12, chat. They're at 12. They gained life. Come on now. Alright, so they're hoping to hit the land so they can enter the God Eternals. If they don't hit the land or Ritualist, that they're probably dead here. No, it was not lethal. My opponent was at 12. Making the non-blocked one a 4/4 and then doubling it deals 10. It's feeling like Climb is back on the menu, chat. Which is exciting. I like the Climb deck. The fact that this card incidentally blocks Thief of Sanity is just so good. This is probably a Wildgrowth Walker out matchup. And if I'm cutting that, I probably want to cut some Evolution Sages. This seems not unreasonable. Grazer plus Climb is kind of an issue too. It is in a roundabout way. Yeah, is this a Tamiyo matchup? I have this card in the sideboard for the Esper control matchup. The opponent's deck's like a little bit mid-rangey on occasion. I don't think I want this here. It's like for Grixis too. Places where I really want to grind. I think because they have Thief of Sanity. It's fine. Not amazing, but fine. It's probably great against 5 cards. You're a good little Grazer. This card's really grown on me. This card's like a fantastic example of like a card when I was like looking at the spoiler I just glossed over, but then like actually getting in reps with it against various decks in the format. It's like, huh, this card's like really good. You know what to do, Hoogle Sloth. The Sloth's gonna get in there, I promise. Wait. Weren't they blue-black last game? Am I having a memory lapse? They were a blue-black deck last game, right? Yeah, maybe they have like a Crisis Splash or something like that. That would make sense. I don't want to Field of Rune them because it'll probably unlock their black mana. Hey, Pentreon, thanks for the tip. Consider this my swear jar fee, except instead of swears, it's terrible advice. I'm gonna Incubation before I Jadelight. They have like Negate in against me. They brought in Negate against me? Seriously? Alright, your funeral. It's so weird when people do stuff like that. It's like, well, you lost last game because I beat you down with a bunch of creatures, so they boarded in Negate. Yeah, I guess blue-black doesn't interact with Klein, I guess. Alright, enter. Alright, if they have dubs enter, they could be the real deal here. Let's pump up the Arboreal Grazer jam. I guess I could have pumped this up and attacked them, but the problem is this would die to a second Enter the God Eternals next turn, which I think is not ideal. Hostage Taker. Well, I saved an Incongruity just for you. Just for you, little Hostage Taker, which means the Hostage Takering the Enter the Battlefield trigger creature is, like, incredibly bold. Things that oft don't end well for you. I guess I could have played this out first and pumped him up. Got one more Dorcas in my deck. And to the sloth, baby. This card's so sweet. Like me some Flampler. Big old Flampler. Pump up, the wump up, the jam. Doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo. Grazer is champion of the parish. Sloth could block the Apex hybrid. Hey, Confection. Thank you for the 12 months of support. Have a sword to go with your shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I agree, Swift. It feels like a nice elegant fit in here. Feels like a pretty natural inclusion. Alright, so I don't want to trade my 4/7 for their 4/4 here. So I think I'm going to attack with just this turn. Aye, Kyle! Thank you for the 10 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, good. Just checking. Just checking. Alright, I heard you ordered a beefcake. One beefiest of all the cakes. Arrgh. Yeah, Sloth's been really good, and it synergizes well with Climb. Like, just being a dork for Climb feels good. Yeah, I'm excited to have a Climb list to put on the website, because I do like Hadana's Climb overall. This feels like a very natural thing to put up there. Make a note to do that. Update UG Climb on the website. Nissa is really just such an elegant interaction. With like, as far as we're gonna do in terms of beating down. We're sitting pretty at 8. For now we are, yeah. So do I Incubation in the dark here? I think I hold on to the Incubation for now. Because I don't know exactly what they're doing, and the removal might be better than finding a threat. And like, I have a 2/3 curve as is. Is a Ferox a real thing? Now we can stay right there. Papi. So this thing dying to a Doomblade here is a reason to not play the Hadana's Climb. I'd much rather get my Jadelight down here and give myself a chance to hit my land drops for next turn. I'm going to bin the extra Evolution Sage here. That's not looking particularly good at the moment. Ferox is Latin for bold or fierce. Interesting. I'm not 100% certain that 4 of this card is necessary too. You can see that being something that gets swapped out. Yeah, I agree, Zach. Doubling up your mana is a good place to be. Evo's Age has been alright. We had a match where it went just like completely insane. I think like some number of them are probably fine. It's especially good in synergy with Nissa, but it's probably not good enough on its own to be worth the number of slots that it's quite in this build. Like maybe I was thinking about maybe trying to get some Zegana in here. That's so annoying. To like actually want this to get 1 counter, just nope, nothing but net. Against Esper, this probably isn't doing much, so let's just Incubation here. We have Dovin's veto here. Man, if this gets vetoed instead of this, that would be great. Also fine. Sure. These Field of Runes looking particularly reasonable here too, which is great. Do I just jam Nissa? I think I just jam Nissa. Just try and rock their world. You could also maybe argue that I'm not supposed to jam Nissa because she's my best threat to play through Kaya's Wrath. So maybe I'm supposed to lead on Roalesk or Climb plus Sage. Yeah, maybe the double spell turn there is what I want. They bin to Kaya's Wrath, which is kind of scary. That's like pretty bold, like see a Nissa jam Contempt on the cheap card. I guess they want to flip the search ASAP, but like I've got double Field of Runes sitting here, so like more power to you. Flip your search over. Sure, you've got a Teferi.
I won't hide from the world any longer. Not so fast.
That's pretty good, I guess. That kind of sucks because I waited on my land. Because I waited on my land, I was unable to play 2 spells this turn, which feels a little bit bad. Which of your favorite infinite combos so far from Citadel, Ralph, Fave, and other might I have not seen yet? Which is your fave infinite combo so far? Citadel's my favorite for sure. So I'm gonna field here now. And the reason why I'm fielding here now is because I want them to have to Azcanta before they know what they're drawing with Teferi, because I want them to activate their Azcanta with less information, basically. Mortify's a little annoying, though. Let them kill my dork.
No time for a break.
Alright, so really want to draw Nissa here, and I do think my sequencing earlier today was very wrong. If I would have like held on to, I guess the Nissa would have gotten taken from that. Or I would have played the Nissa last turn. I think the turn I jammed Nissa into Absorb, basically, I was incorrect to do so. I think the turn I jammed Nissa into Absorb, I should have double spelled or just played the Apex Hybrid out. This is a good example of why I board down at least one climb in matchups like this. I'm gonna take one more draw to Nissa here.
Hurry.
Yeah, the Party Bus deck is fine, but what's it called is definitely a better combo deck, Citadel. I think if I would have sequenced better, I could have snuck a Nissa in there, and then Nissa would have bodied the Teferi, and then we would have been just much better off in general from there forward. I think this is how I want to board. I don't really want the ramp from Grazer. Wildgrowth Walker's health doesn't matter. I don't mind trimming a climb. Nullhide Ferox just is like a good beefy boy. Give this a go. OKC Thunder coming in hot with the 5th month. Welcome back. Have a good one, Ruff. Have a good search your weekend, I hope. Hey, Gopher. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. You're an amazing streamer. Put this donation towards the deck you're most excited to play in the queue. Will do. 10 out of 10. Thanks for keeping me around. What are your thoughts on Bond of Flourishing? I don't know what that card does. Oh, Bond of Flourishing is great. It's very good in the Green-Black Citadel deck. Adds a ton of consistency. Everything that deck wants is permanent based. Subbed last month through Twitch, but want to switch back to Amazon Prime. Reactivated my account once I found I could get a discount. So you'll just you want to go into your subscription setting, the one and only, and disable your auto renew. And then when your subscription lapses, you'll just come and manually Twitch Prime, because you have to manually use Twitch Prime every month. So you on the desktop, I think there's a setting in mobile too. If you just go to your subscription settings and set the subscription for the channel to not auto renew, and then it'll tell you the date when it lapses. Then when it lapses, you can come in and Prime sub. As someone who doesn't believe in mulliganing against Thought Erasure, this hand is the low end of keepable. A combo control deck in paper. Well, there aren't really combo control decks in the standard format, right? Are we still in single-digit rankings? I'm not sure, but I think I plan to play white-blue aggro in ranked after this, and then probably Esper in our set in ranked as well. That is a good draw. The top 1,000 tournament happens at the end of the month, not two weekends from now, 2 Saturdays from tomorrow. Am I going to be streaming that on until I haven't decided yet? It'll definitely be going up on my YouTube channel at the very least, but I don't know if I want to stream it live or even with a delay. Esper Super Friends is the one that actually put us into Mythic yesterday. And then Bant, various Bant decks and Blue-Black Friends were the decks that allowed us to plow on through. I'm going to sit tight for now. If I draw 6 land, I can play this Tamiyo while still holding Negate up, which I think is appealing. Definitely just firing off this Negate here. Because obviously once Little Tef's in play, these Negates don't have text. Well, they definitely have a veto here. Wow, this is like a really solid opening for me, right? Like, I hate to do this and then climb flips. And unfortunately, one mana short here playing the Tamiyo too. If I'd have drawn a land this turn, we really would have punished them. So like, sure, you get to contempt this, but like, I have this land in play beating you down now. Sure, my hand's great. So, like, do you take Tamiyo, who's gonna pick a negate back up, or do you take Nissa, who's gonna beat you down? Is there a link to the Super Friends list? Yeah, everything you can find is on my website, magicesports.net. Click videos, standard decks. You're gonna find a ton of videos there with deck lists in the description of the video. No, I think if they leave me Tamiyo, I down tick and pick negate up. My favorite website for getting into Magic Esports, exactly. Well, that's really good. So I get to do this. And then I get to do this. And then I attack with both of these and get to climb the 4/4. Alright, hit you for 11. Your move, Yugi boy. Go ahead. You know, I probably should have plussed on the Hinterland Harbor there, because this makes extra mana and this doesn't. So, like, if they Kaya's Wrath me, it's not great here. Yeah, I'm super excited we played this deck today. Nissa, who shakes the world, really feels like that extra oomph that the Simic climb deck was missing from last season. Yeah, and the Hinterland Harbor is not foil, so if it dies, it's fine. It's more acceptable for the non-foil to die. Yeah, it seems fine. Should you deploy the hybrid because then if they Wrath Nissa alts? That's actually an interesting question. Huh? Maybe? I could see that. Poor Hinterland Harbor tried so hard and got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter anymore. Hit him with the full wallet. Yep. Just get him. This is going to be our last match with this one before we slide along to white splash blue aggro. I think with the addition of Teferi this season, I probably just want 2-color. That's close. I think I keep it. It's like really good with Evolution Sage. Just double non-foil lands here. Just like makes me want to vomit. It's a very reasonable 6, I agree. The 6 is an easy keep. The somewhat question is like, do I keep this? Because like, if they discard spell this and then I brick out my 3rd land, I could be in trouble. So like, there's merit to bottoming this because they could take this and then I could like not get to this on time. My lands are my greatest shame. Hey, they're scared of the climb, chat. Miley's put the fear in him. Miley has put the fear in him. Perfect. Never didn't have it, etc., etc. Do I play into an absorb here? I feel like I don't, right? Like I've got these negates in my hand. I'm like, next turn I'll Jadelight with Negate. Stop it. Look, I shocked in the breeding pool. You know this is coming. Get out of my house. Ooh, that's a good one. Huh? So they like 1,000% have it absorb here, right? Do I just like keep trucking along with this 2-2? This 2-1? I almost feel like I just keep trucking along with this 2-1. I think I'm just gonna pass again. I don't really want to like... I don't want to, like, play my card, have them... I don't want to, like, play my card, have them absorb, I negate, and, like, they untap and Teferi. Like, that doesn't seem ideal for me. Tamiyo kind of changes the dynamic. Alright, I'm gonna jam now because I drew a Tamiyo. So I'd like to Tamiyo next turn. In. Everything worked out better than expected, chat. Everything worked out better than expected. And like, they wrath me here, just like, Tamiyo. And like, if they want to like, tuck me in, I get to kill their Teferi.
I'm not done yet.
So I assume they're gonna kill one of my threats here during the end step, before I draw this negate. Really? I just get to kill your Teferi? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Get out of here. Get out of here. I was like, all right. I kind of like roundabouts where we ended up. I don't know. All right, so things to settle on. Let's start with things I'm confident in. This card's great. That card was like super impressive in a variety of the games that we played, which was excellent. Field of Rune, the stock in this card has gone up as this format's developed. So the appeal to playing a 2-color deck is that I get to play a utility land like this, which is sweet. It also has a little bit of synergy with the evolution stage here, which is nice. That being said, I'm not sure this card is good enough to play 4 of. I kind of feel like I want to try a couple of Zegana in here as like a middle of the road threat. And like this card was really good in some situations, but it was clunky in others. So I kind of feel like I want to split the difference here. As far as the sideboard is concerned, I'm not convinced that Nullhide Ferox is 100% where I want to be in life. Because, like, I like this card against control, but it's awkward when, like, I'm bringing in Tamiyo and Negates. But the flip side is that this card is very reasonable against, like, the other big idiot decks. So, like, I would bring Nullhide in against, like, green-red aggro, for instance, and probably be pretty good there. So maybe I just, like, go down one of these to just, like, have to be a little bit less awkward. It's probably also good against mono-red. I feel like I want to round out the last Thrashing Brontodon just because I like this card in general. And I really like this card against mono-red aggro. So, like, boarding in these against red aggro when we have, like, Grazer and Merfolk or Wildgrowth Walker in the main is probably good. So, Carnage Tyrant, I agree, would be better than Nullhide against specifically control, but the appeal to Nullhide Ferox is that it's flexible, right? So, like, Carnage Tyrant wouldn't come in against, hey, Seth, thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream today. Welcome to folks coming over from Mr. Manfield stream. Is he a mod here? I should fix that if he's not. There's already a mod. Perfect. So I like that this card came in against, like, red aggro in addition to, like, red-green aggro and stuff like that. Someone mentioned they feel the Incubation Incongruity in the sideboard is weird. this card is in the sideboard to come in explicitly when we want another removal spell, basically. So you're never going to board this in for like the incubation half, but because our deck is just blue-green, we're kind of limited in what we can play in terms of removal. So I like having a 4th copy of this to bring it onto the board. So I think I actually really like this, and I have been looking for a climb variation to put on the website updated for this season. I think I'm going to put this 75 up there to start. Hey, Rastelin, thank you for the 4-month resub at any rate. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, climb was like our baby last season, Marty, and I was a little sad that we couldn't find one that felt ideal this season. But I think feels like we finally got there. I'm gonna put that latest version of the blue-green climb deck onto Stream Decker for those who want it. It'll also be up on my website later tonight. And we're gonna roll on in to yeah, Rastelin. That was the old Dragonlance character, right? I read those books as a child. If I recall correctly, one of the brothers. It's been a long time since I've read a book. I am old and lack culture.